الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد أنزلنا إليك آيات بينات وما يكفر بها إلا الفاسقون صدق الله العظيم. Regarding ayat number 99 of Surat al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَلَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ. And definitely we have revealed and sent down إِلَيْكَ to you, O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ, very clear ayat. آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ, ayat that are very clear and very explanatory. Ayat is the plural of ayatun, and ayah in Arabic translates to sign. The plural of that is ayat, signs. And this term in the Quran, it is used for, or it comes with a few meanings. One are the ayat in the universe, and the universal domain in the creation. These are called ayati kuniyat. Those ayat that are in the kainat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the universal domain of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are those that we look around in this world, we look around in the heavens, in the skies. All of the various signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in this universal domain as proof of His existence. They are also, a few of them are mentioned in the Quran as well. And in the Quran they're also referred to as ayat. We're told in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. Definitely in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and in the alteration of night and day, there are ayat, there are many, many signs for ulul albab, for people of very deep intellect. This is one type of ayah, one type of sign, or where in context the word ayat is used in the Quran. The second context where the word ayat is used, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to His ayat, His signs, was the miracles that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to the Anbiya alayhimus salam. These ayat, or these miracles known as mu'jizat, miracles of the Anbiya alayhimus salam, the miracles of the prophets. In the Quran also they're referred to as ayat. Specifically when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam is ordered to go to Fir'aun and to present to Fir'aun fi tis'i ayatin ila Fir'aun wa mala'i, to take 9 ayat known as mu'jizat, 9 signs, and show them to Fir'aun. Amongst those 9 signs were the miracles that were given to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Not all of those 9 were miracles, but the asai Musa, that was a mu'jiza, the staff that Musa alayhi salam had. Musa alayhi salam, he was also given the miracle of yad bayda. He would take his right hand, he would put it in his side, when he would take it out, it would shine. So he was given also certain miracles. So those miracles are also referred to ayat or called ayat in the Quran, signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not just in one place, in a few places. The other term in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the next context, the third context, in which the word ayat is used in the Quran, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in some places in the Quran, He refers to some of the nations of the past and the destruction that was meted out to them. The adhab and the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was sent against them. Those are also in some places in the Quran referred to as the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Such ayat that we may be able to take lessons from, that we may be able to take a deep understanding from. Amongst the 9 ayat given to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, that he was sent with to warn Fir'aun, some of those were also punishments and adhab, were sent against Fir'aun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمُ الطُّوفَانَ وَالْجَرَادَ وَالْقُمَّلَ وَالضَّفَادِعَ وَالدَّمَ آيَاتٍ مُفَصَّلَاتٍ. They were sent against Fir'aun, frogs. There was an army of frogs against Fir'aun and the people of Fir'aun. And it was very, very ajib kind of adhab, very, very ajib kind of punishment. We've already gone over some of those punishments. And the tafseer of the previous ayat, where only Fir'aun and his people were targeted. And the Bani Israel were not at all affected by it. There was frogs and locusts and lice. And there was flood. It was a very, very programmed flood. He knew which houses to destroy, and which houses were the houses of the people of Fir'aun, and which houses were the houses of the Bani Israel. So the houses of the Bani Israel were not even touched, and the houses of Fir'aun were flooded and destroyed. And the people of Fir'aun, their houses were gone. Very, very programmed flood. And there are other ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ayatim mufassalat. We send many, many clear signs, many, many clear ayat to Fir'aun and his people that they may understand. And in many other places in the Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He sends His adhab, He refers to it as ayah or ayat in various places in the Quran. The other context in which the ayat, which we're all familiar with, sometimes we think ayat is only the ayat of the Quran, but also the ayat of the Quran are also referred to as ayat of the Quran. Every single ayah of the Quran in itself is a miracle, and it is a sign that this Quran is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In various places in the Quran, the word ayat comes. Tilka ayatul kitabil mubin. These are ayat from, or ayat of this very, very clear and very, very open book, a book that makes things very clear. So here when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that we have sent to you and we revealed to you ayatin bayyinat, ayat that makes things very clear. These are the ayat of the Quran, but also within the ayat of the Quran, those things that are mentioned in the Quran, they have their own details what you find in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Or we find those details in other places in the Quran. That is the amazing thing about the Quran. يُفَسِّرُ بَعْضُهُمْ بَعْضًا. That the ayat of the Quran, they give tafseer of one another. We already went over one aspect of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the ayat of the Quran very clear. One was the Shan al-Nuzul, also known as Sabab al-Nuzul, where a certain incident would take place. And then on that incident, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reveal an ayat of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would create certain instances. In the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, certain conditions would happen, certain incidents would happen. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reveal an ayah that would explain that incident, and it would sometimes that ayah was particular for that incident. But the tafseer of that ayah will be till the end of times. That is the amazing thing about the Quran. That yes, in a particular incident, an ayat was revealed explaining an incident. But that tafseer of that ayah will apply till the end of time. And it's not up to us to just come up with our own tafseer of those kind of ayat. We have been given those kind of details in the Quran. We have gone over some of them, even in Surat al-Baqarah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed in ayah, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا وَالنَّصَارَى وَالصَّابِئِينَ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. And those who believe, and those who are of the Jewish community and of the Christian community and the Sabi'een, those that follow the scriptures of Dawood alayhi salam, the Zabur, those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and believe in the hereafter, their reward is with their Rabb. They'll have no fear on them, and وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, they'll have no grief on them. فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, their ajr is with their Rabb. Now, somebody who just reads this ayah may think, oh, it's okay to be a Yahudi or to be an Nasrani, it's okay to be a Jew or to be a Christian. Because just reading the translation, this might be for someone. But this is not the tafsir of this ayah. And we've already gone over the tafsir of that ayah. The Sayyidina Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu anhu, he came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he was a Sahabi who had a very, very long lifespan. It has been documented that he may have had the longest lifespan amongst the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. Some have given him a lifespan a little over 200 years old. So he experienced a lot in his life. He was the son of, in that time there was the Persian Empire, which was a superpower of the time. So the Persian Empire had two famous powerful communities. Each community had its own power. One was the governmental side, they had immense power. And on the other side was the religious side, they also had immense power. And as powerful as the government was, that is how powerful the religious community was as well. So in the religious community, there was one head priest in the religion of that time, of the people of Persia or the Persian Empire. The people of that time, they used to worship fire. They were Zoroastrians. They used to worship fire. So their head priest, he was in charge of taking care of what they used to call the eternal flame. This was in their belief that there was one fire that had been burning and will be burning. It will never come off, or it will never turn off. So the head priest, he was the one who was in charge of taking care of that fire or watching over that fire. And he had immense power. He had as much power as the king of Persia had, or the emperor of Persia had. So he had a lot of him. He even had his own throne. That's how powerful he was. So he had a son. That son was Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu anhu. Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu anhu, when he was growing as a young youth, he started rebelling against his father. So this is not a new thing that children rebel. This has been in human history. So Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu anhu, when he came to his father, he said, this fire, it can be blown out. Or you can pour water on it and it can be put out. How you can worship this? His father got mad at him. You make fun of my, I'm worshiping this fire, you making fun of this? This is eternal flame. How dare you? He told his father, he said, I can't. How somebody can accept this? So his father punished him. And after his father punished him, Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu, he became even more stubborn. He said, this can't be how this fire can be. So he started searching for the truth. And in the Persian Empire, in that area, there was a monastery where a monk used to live, of the Christian faith. So he became friends with that monk. Somehow he found him. And he started liking. At that time, there was a group of monks, and they had the original deen of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. This is the beauty of the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There has never been a time in history where this Islam did not exist on earth. It's always, since Adam alayhi salam, there was always some group, even if the Anbiya alayhi salam had left, there was always some group that upheld that original deen of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So at this time there was a small group of monks, and anytime this group would die out, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would send a Nabi. This is the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At any time the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would almost come to an end, only one or two would be left holding on to the deen, so then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would send a Nabi and revive the whole effort of deen. There was a group of monks. They were the original followers of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, and they were Muslim. And they gave this monk who was in this monastery, he happened to be of that small secret society. And the reason they were secret was because the Persian Empire did not allow it to be in the open. They were very, very strict about allowing other adyan or religions to have too much popularity or too much fame. So Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu managed to get some contact with him, and he accepted Islam under this monk. And that time it was the early days. This time there was a time where Christianity, where there were many aspects of Christianity that had been already corrupted, but this group held on to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They used to pray 3 times a day, they had wudu, they had many things. They even had the original script of the Injil from Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, and they kept it, they preserved it, they protected it. So Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu, he kind of accepted Islam through them. And it was a very secret thing. This monk, he had already detached himself from the dunya. This was the system of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. He did not have too much materialism in this world. So Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu, at some point he kept his deen quiet. And one day he came to his father and he gave his father good da'wah. You know, this fire is like this and you're worshipping and this fire has no power. He gave him good da'wah. You need to worship Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that created this fire, has created you. So his father said, you have the audacity to talk to me? Do you know who I am? You know how powerful our kingdom is and how many people like you we've killed? You want to come and talk about Allah? Who is this Allah? You know, we've heard about Allah. That's one thing about the religious community. They've heard about Allah. Don't think they don't know. They became very angry. He said, you're the very type, you accepted the deen and the religion of the very people we've been killing. We've been trying to obliterate this Islam and you come and you're a Muslim. So he locked Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu in a room and started torturing him. Every day he would come, he would torture him, leave him in that room, completely blocked him off from the world. So many weeks passed. Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu finally came out of that prison and he was able to go and find this priest, and hide in the monastery for some time. But that priest told him, listen, if you stay here, they'll find you. First they're going to kill me. Then they're going to kill you. Then they're going to burn this place down. You know how strict you know how angry your father will be if he found out you were here? And don't think they don't do raids. They come in any time. We can't stop them. So get out, you have to go. So Salman radiallahu anhu, he asked, where should I go? He said, okay, listen. One of my shuyukh, elders that I look up to, is very elder, more elder than me. You need to go and find him. He said, where is he? He said, he's in Sham, present day Syria. He said, go there. Syria and Yemen used to be Sham. He said, go find him there. So Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu took a long journey. This priest also had another student who ended up becoming friends with Salman radiallahu anhu. And they took this journey together. So they came to Sham, they found that sheikh, lived with him for some time, many years passed. That sheikh on his dying bed said, listen, there's another sheikh I look up to, you need to go and find him. So they were going from sheikh to sheikh, 4 or 5 different shuyukh they went to. Each time they would spend a few years with that sheikh, he would pass away. So they came to the final sheikh and that sheikh started teaching them that listen, the time is coming and all the signs are clear now that the last Nabi has appeared. He started giving them the signs of that Nabi. These are some of his qualities, these are some of his sifat. He's very hospitable, he's like this and he's like this. Giving him many sifat of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from the original scriptures of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, from the Injil. And finally when that priest was also passing away, that monk was also passing away. They used to be called Rahbaniyin or Rahib. So he was also passing away. He told Salman radiallahu anhu, he said, listen, there is no one else from our society or from our shuyukh left. I am the last one. As I told you, the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When that last one used to pass away, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Nabi. So that Rahib told him, that monk told him, listen, I am the last one left. After me, you will not find anyone else holding on to this deen of Allah. Maybe you are the only one who has this deen now. During this period, Salman radiallahu anhu, his friend also passed away when they were with this last sheikh. So sheikh told him, you're the last one. There's no one else. They said, what you need to do is go to the land of dates and find that Nabi now. Then now all the signs are clear that he has arrived. You go find him. And when you find him, just whatever he tells you, accept it. So Salman radiallahu anhu asked, what are his signs? Just give me some final signs. He said, for years I've been telling you his signs. Okay. They said, you look for majorly, just look for 3 things, main thing. So one is his seal of nubuwah, seal of prophethood. And you will find it between his 2 shoulders on his back. This is a beautiful sign, there's no way you can miss it. It's a mark of his nubuwah. He said, okay, what next? He said, second, you'll find that he will never accept sadaqah. If you give him anything and tell him it is sadaqah, he will not take it for himself. he will give it out. He'll give it to the poor or spread it amongst other people. He will not take from it. He said, okay, what's the third sign? He said, third sign is when you give him something and tell him it's a gift, so he will also take it. He will accept gifts. He will not reject gifts. And this Rahib, he passed away with these final words. Go find that Nabi. And you're fortunate enough that you might be able to find him. So Salman radiallahu anhu, obviously he was heartbroken. It was the last Rahib in his life that he passed away, also his Shaykh. This was the fourth or fifth Shaykh in his life. So then he went and he started asking about which land has dates. Well, what is the land of dates? Finally he found out that it was Khaybar, which is beside Medina. So he went to the land of dates, Khaybar. He found some caravan of Arabs. And some of these Arabs are a little bit cunning also. So they asked them, can I go with you? They said, yeah, sure, no problem. You can come with us if you're going to the land of dates. We'll take you there. So they took him as a slave to the land of dates. And they sold him. They sold him to the Jewish community. But they sold him to the Jewish community. So there he was under the employment of some Jews, some of the Jewish community. There was some of the priests of the Jewish community, they were also waiting for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu became surprised. He said, I thought that was the last sheikh of mine, the rahib, the last monk when he passed away. He said there may be no one else, Muslim. And there's this group of monks here talking about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And they're talking so openly, they're not even afraid. So he went to them, he said, you people really believe in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? They said, yeah, we believe. He said, okay, I also want to be a Jew. They said, you can't. They started laughing at him. He said, Jewish is only family, He said, okay, fine. If you want to be exclusive to yourselves, I still believe. I'm still on the deen of Isa alayhi salam. But he was a slave of the people of Khaybar. During this time, from the Jewish community, from those who were the rabbis in the Jewish community, he heard that the last Nabi will be coming in Medina, in Yathrib. So he started listening. He said, how as a slave, I'm sitting in Khaybar, and I'm waiting for the last Nabi to appear. And he's supposed to be in Yathrib. How am I going to go there? So that time he made his dua. He asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, just let me go to Yathrib so I can meet. I've spent my whole life looking for this Nabi of yours. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his dua. The master that he was a slave of, for some time had made a deal with him, that he made a deal with another master. This Jewish person had made a deal with another Jewish person that he was going to sell some of the slaves off. And the Jewish person that he was selling the slaves off to was in Medina. He was going to Yathrib. He was living in Yathrib and he needed some of the people to work in his garden. So his master came and said, okay, who amongst you, asking all of the slaves there, will now go to Yathrib. Many of them backed off because they heard that the weather in Medina is strange. In Yathrib, the weather is very ajib. Not only is it hot, but at nighttime it's very cold. Anybody goes to Yathrib, first thing happens, you get sick. So everyone kind of said, yeah, we're better off in Khaybar, They were all looking at one another. Nobody wanted to raise their hand. And Salman al-Farisi said, okay, you know what? I already made this dua. I'm ready to go. They told him, are you crazy? You're going to die. The weather will kill you. He said, okay, so I die. No problem. I'm going. They took him. Now he was in Medina, in Yathrib. And in that area where he was, the master that he had, and some of the Jewish leaders that gathered during this time, he was hardly there for some time. He was working in the garden and he heard them talking about a Nabi coming from Makkah. And he started becoming interested. So he came to his master. He said, you're talking about a Nabi from Makkah? What are you talking about? He said, go back to work. Don't bother us. So every day he used to ask his master, so there's this Nabi coming from Makkah. Can you tell me about him? So his master also kind of made some kind of connection and said, this guy is old. He was an old man already. This old man always asking, what's wrong with this guy? So he started telling him, yes, there is this Nabi. He's a man who's claiming to be a Nabi. He's in Makkah, but they're saying that he may migrate here. Some of his followers have already come here. And during those days, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made the hijrah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came over the hill. The master called out to Salman radiallahu anhu that, look, this is the one that you're looking for. There he is. He has arrived. So Salman radiallahu anhu, in such excitement, he jumped down from the tree, was ready to go. The master said, well, finish your work and then you can go. So he went and he finished his work and he went to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And he was shocked. He didn't know what to say because, he looked at him. He said, how I can tell that? First of all, how am I going to tell that he's a Nabi? So he brought some dates with him. So he put it in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said, this is sadaqah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam smiled at him, said, thank you, jazakumullah. And he spread it out to the Sahaba. Salman radiallahu anhu was watching him, And just watching. And he did not eat it. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not eat a single date. Tired from journey, he didn't eat any dates. So Salman radiallahu anhu said, okay, he passed the first test. The next day after work, Salman radiallahu anhu asked his master, can I go? He said, yeah, you can go, no problem, go meet him. So he brought some dates again, and he put it in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he said, this is a gift for you. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Jazakumullah, thank you. And he took the date, he ate it first, and then he gave to the Sahaba. So Salman radiallahu anhu, he was thinking, he said, okay, so 2 tests he passed, he didn't take sadaqah, but he did take the gift. Now I'm going to check his back, So Salman radiallahu anhu, he was just watching, and finally he got up and he came behind Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he was just watching. And some of the Sahaba, they're like, okay, something is going on. So some of them also got up that, okay, maybe he's trying to attack Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in some way. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told them, it's okay. I know what he's looking for. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam opened his shirt, pulled his shirt down, and saw the mark. And Salman radiallahu anhu, he went and he kissed that mark and he accepted Islam. And he told Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that, during my journey of finding haqq, this is my story. These were the shuyukh that I had. These were the monks that I had. This is such a special time for me that I've accepted Islam. He said, but during this time I had one friend also. And he had this burning desire to also find the truth. All of these monks and shuyukh passed away. They were waiting for you. And this friend of mine, he also passed away. What will be their condition? At least I got to find you. I accepted Islam at your hands. What will be the condition of all those that passed away, those righteous people? What will happen to them? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that verse of Surat al-Baqarah. We've already done that verse. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those who believe. وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا, and those who are of the Jewish belief. وَالنَّصَارَى وَالصَّابِئِينَ, those who are Christians. Those who are the followers of the Zabur, the Sabi'in. Man amana billah, so long as they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wal yawmil akhir, and they believe in the hereafter. فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, the reward is with their Rabb. وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, they'll have no fear on them, and there'll be no grief on them. But this was talking about all those that came before Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the revelation of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us very, very clearly that the only deen that is accepted in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the deen of Islam. Inna ad-deena 'inda Allahi al-Islam. Definitely the only deen, the only religion, the only way of life that is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the deen of Islam. وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. Anyone who brings any other deen, anyone who follows any other religion or any other way of life other than Islam, فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ, it will never be accepted from them. وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ, and these people will be losers on the day of judgment. So that is very, very clear. So someone who is just simply reading that first verse that I mentioned in Surah al-Baqarah, that those who believe and who are of the Jewish community and Christians and Sabi'in, someone may think that, okay, everyone will be able to go to paradise so long as they're good people. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it very clear that no, this is not the tafsir of this ayah. This tafsir of this ayah was in relation to that incident of Salman al-Farisi radiyallahu anhu. And this may apply to someone who may have never ever had any kind of access to any deen. Who may have never had any kind of access, never known about Islam in any way, may have never known about any religion in any way. But again, that's very rare, especially in this time and age. Everyone knows what is Islam. Yes, we tried to be very secretive about it when we came. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exposed it to the whole world. Islam now everywhere. There's not a place in the world you can go that people don't know what is Muslim or what is Islam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made very, very clear. This is the importance of sababun nuzul and shan nuzul. If we did not have this specific incident, or somebody does not have knowledge that this ayah has a story behind it, this ayah has an incident behind it, so we may even take the wrong tafsir from this kind of ayat. And there are many. There are people who have found that they give tafsir from their own side. They have not studied under any ulama, they have not studied under any of the great shuyukh. They just read tafsir by themselves. They figure, we know English, we can study, So they read by themselves and they read the translations, and now they think they know. And many times they give the wrong tafsir, or they take the wrong meaning. And they don't even realize that they're giving the wrong meaning. We've had quite a few come to us. One time one of the brothers came to me, he said, there was this one Christian, he was such a good man. And he passed away, and I prayed that he goes to Jannah. I was like, brother, you cannot pray that he goes to Jannah. He's like, no, I can pray. He said, you see this verse in Surah Baqarah? This tells me that even Christians can go to Jannah now. I said, brother, this is not the tafsir of this ayah. When I explained it to him, he said, "Oh man, all my life I've been thinking that this is all, anybody that is good can make it." I said, "No, if you don't accept Islam, so you become a rebel against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." So there are many ayat in the Quran like this where the sababun nuzul makes the meaning of the ayah very, very clear. There's no need to go too much in depth. That type of example is more than enough for us to understand these kind of ayat. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that definitely we have revealed to you ayatim bayyinat, ayat that are very, very clear. The meaning is very clear, the tafsir is very, very clear. And this tafsir also came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that tafsir in the Quran, the word that is used in the Quran for tafsir is bayyin or bayan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the Quran that when this Quran is being revealed to you, لا تحرك به لسانك لتعجل به. Don't move your tongue trying to repeat quickly after Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam. Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam would come to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he would recite some ayat of the Quran. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, just to remember them, he would start repeating them over and over and over. You know, like sometimes you go and the students are memorizing Quran and you see the huffaz, mashallah, you see how fast they're reading. And how they're repeating one ayah over and over and over. عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ عَنِ النَّبَإِ الْعَظِيمِ عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ عَنِ النَّبَإِ الْعَظِيمِ. Sometimes they repeat 10, 15 times. You know? And after they read their lesson, they repeat 30 times, 33 times to remember and make it strong. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to recite very quickly just to make sure he didn't miss any of the wahi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that for you, لَا تُحَرِّكْ بِهِ لِسَانَكَ لِتَعْجَلَ بِهِ. Don't move your tongue, being quick. Trying to remember. Don't even move your tongue, just listen. Inna alayna jam'ahu wa Qur'an. It is our responsibility to gather this Qur'an for you. We're going to give you this Qur'an. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. When Jibreel alayhi salam finished his reciting to you, just follow him then afterwards. Sometimes one ayat used to come. Sometimes the whole surah used to come. Surah Nisa, long surah, very difficult surah, many difficult ayat. It was all revealed at once, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after he got it, he recited the whole surah. It came. This was a special miracle given to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So don't move your tongue. ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا جَمْعَهُ وَقُرْآنَ فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَ ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا بَيَانَهُ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that we have also taken the responsibility of giving you the bayan of this Qur'an, the tafsir of this Qur'an. That even the tafsir of this Qur'an comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not something that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam added from his own side. No. He was given the tafsir of the ayat of the Qur'an as well. So this is what is ayatim bayyinat. This is one aspect of ayatim bayyinat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding and give all of us the tawfiq to practice His deen. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن. اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.